Hey everyone, welcome to your practice today. Please grab a couple of blocks and we'll get started. You can leave the blocks at the front of your mat for the time being. We're going to start laying on our back. So go ahead and settle into a shape that's comfortable for you. That could be Shavasana. You might prefer to keep your knees bent. You might take Baddha in your legs. So just, whatever feels right for you in this moment today. Arms and legs can settle however you like, however you choose. We'll just start with a brief moment here. Face relaxed. You could wiggle your jaw around, yawn or sigh even. And maybe you close your eyes, maybe not. But just observe your breath right at the tip of your nostrils. So the soft entry and exit of the inhale and the exhale without worrying too much about where you're steering the breath in the body at this point or how you're tapering it, what its pressure is. Just observe the simple breath in and the simple breath out. And return to that at any point in the practice here today that feels challenging for you. When you're ready, go ahead and bend your knees to ground your feet if they aren't already. Arms can lengthen down by your side. Maybe let's turn the palms up today. And stretch your left leg down long so that your left leg is in line with your left hip. You'll flex the left toes strongly there. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, without using your arms, draw the right knee towards your chest on your breath out. Again, flex through your left toes. Think of grounding the back of your left thigh into the mat and hug the right knee towards your chest, engaging the active range of motion of the hip flexor. One more time, flexing left toes on your inhale and drawing right knee here in as you exhale. Good, so you have a couple of options now. You could simply wrap your right hand around the right shin and just kind of keep hold of the leg there. Alternatively, right elbow could come inside of the right knee and you might hold the top of the right shin or the inside of the ankle. Alternatively, the outer edge of the right foot, and make this more of a half happy baby. And just spend a moment here, a couple breaths, playing with straightening and bending your right knee. Okay, one more inhale and exhale. Okay, release the grip of your hand. You can return the right palm down by your side again. Stack the right knee up in line with your right hip. And you can choose today to work with your right leg straight or your right knee bent. Both will be great and effective. Right leg straight will be a little more challenging. Find external rotation in your right thigh, right from the root of your thigh bone, so right where your hip is originating. And again, you'll do that with the knee bent or the knee straight. And then invite your right leg to slowly open out towards the right. You try to keep your left leg grounded, your left foot flexed, and again, you either have your right knee bent or your right knee straight. Okay, just one more cycle of breath. And then you'll draw the right leg back up through center and stand your right foot down to the ground. You bend your left knee and lengthen your right leg now so that the right leg is standing directly in line with your right hip. Flex your right foot strongly. And as you exhale, draw the left knee towards your chest, using the strength of the left hip flexor. Breathing in here, flex your right toes. Left knee towards your chest on your breath out. Need last one. Hug the knee in. And then catch the front of your left shin or from the inside of the knee, the outer edge of the foot, the top of the ankle. Create that little half happy baby shape on your second side. Play with, to any extent, straightening and bending that left knee. Don't worry about how straight or how bent it is. Just kind of wiggle the leg around in space a couple of times. you're ready, you'll release that. Draw the left knee back in line with your left hip. Choosing either to work with the leg straight or the knee bent. Find external rotation from your left thigh bone. So naturally you'll see your toes and your knee spin out, but see if you can feel it start at your hip, and then slowly invite the left leg to open from there, whether you're working with your knee straight or your knee bent. Keeping your right leg strongly grounded, flexing your right toes. One more breath. And then return the left knee through center. And stand your left and right feet back down into the floor. If it feels nice for you to catch the back of your thighs and rock up and down your spine a few times, by all means do. Otherwise, you're welcome to roll over onto one side and press yourself upright. Okay, we're going to meet in a tabletop position. And you can ground your palms just flat underneath your shoulders. I'm going to use the blocks here today. If you're pregnant, that just gives you a little bit of extra space, but it's totally optional. Okay, so if you don't have blocks, don't worry about it. Hands flat is great. Take a breath in, move through a cow spine. So little dip of the belly, chest reaching forward through the arms. Round as you exhale into cat. And then just keep moving through that on your own. I'm going to talk a little bit as you do. Okay. Pay attention with this movement to where it's originating from. So as you come into cow, could you start by extending your tail? And imagine someone's hand walking along your spine, and move one vertebra at a time into that cow extension. And then do the same thing as you round into cat. So really trying to isolate just the different areas of your spine. Okay, so wherever you are in your breath cycle, you'll just complete this one last little round. You find a neutral spine on your next breath in. And if you don't already have your toes tucked today, curl them underneath. You'll send your right leg back lifted in line with your right hip on your inhale. Draw the right knee out wide to the right upper arm as you exhale. And again, right leg behind you as you breathe in, trying to square the hip. Right knee as you breathe out to your right upper arm. Last one, inhale. And exhale. And this time you'll keep your right knee where it is. Reach it further out beside you in space. Straighten your right leg there and set your right foot down so the toes will point forward. Now, lean forward slightly. Find that little cow on your breath in. Round through cat as you exhale, and this time in this cat spine, shift your hips as far back towards your left heel as you can. You may not be all the way back, but you'll get a nice stretch through the arch of your foot, and find the external rotation in your right thigh so that your right toes start to flex somewhere up towards the ceiling. You pause where you are, take an extra breath. And then you'll shift your weight forward once again as you inhale, plant your right foot down where it is, tuck your back toes, downward facing dog. Okay, but you've got this weird kind of straddle-like position in your downward dog. So right foot is standing out at like 3 o'clock if your hands were 12 and your left foot was 6. Bend your right knee here as you inhale any amount. Straighten it with your exhale. And then bend your left knee, breathe in. Straighten on your breath out. Your right leg will float up and back from there to a 3-legged downward facing dog. Step your right foot forward just inside of your right hand. Place your back knee down when you're ready. Brush both arms up through Anjaneyasana. Take your inhalation. Catch hold of your left wrist as you exhale and side bend up and over towards your right. Pause here. You might, if you're steady, spin your gaze underneath your left arm towards the left side of the room. Return through center on your next breath in. Release your hands down to your blocks. Lift your hips and fold. I just said blocks, but if you're not using them, that's fine. So just to frame your front foot. One little wave of your spine as you inhale. Fold up and over your legs as you breathe out. You step forward on your next breath in. You might find a little flat back. As you exhale, fold, bend your knees, roll all the way up to stand. You take your arms forward and up on your next inhale. As you exhale here, hug your right knee up towards your chest, again without using your arms. A figure four, right ankle to left knee. Breathe in, keep the flex through your toes, and bend your standing legs. Send your seat back like a little chair pose. One more breath here, energy through your fingertips, heavy through your heel in your standing leg. Now as you rise up, cross your right shin in front of the left, catch your left wrist, side bend up and over towards your right once more. Hugging your shins together, hugging your inner thighs up and in towards the pelvis. Breathing into the left side of your ribs. Turn through center on your inhale. Fold up and over your legs as you breathe out. And grounding your fingers, your palms, step your left foot back on your breath in. If you're pregnant, you can go right back to downward dog. Otherwise, right foot will come back through beside the left. Lower knees, chest, and chin down towards the floor. If you're on your belly, go ahead, find cobra for your inhale. Wave your spine back down, narrow your palms if they were wide. You will come into a tabletop position on the next breath in. Sit back into child's pose on your exhale. From child's pose, brush your arms back alongside your shins, fingers content into the mat as you roll up to sit on your heels, and then looping your shoulders, lifting your chest. Exhale as you come forward through to your hands and knees once again. With a neutral spine, send your left leg back in line with your left hip. Breathe in. Left knee to your left upper arm on your exhale. Send it back once again. Inhale. And again, left knee to left upper arm. Last one, breathe in. Left knee hugs in, and then this time you send the left knee out towards your side. Lengthen your left leg there any amount and set the foot down. Shift forward slightly on your inhale, little cow of your spine. Round your spine as you exhale through cat, and then sit all the way back or as far back as your knees and ankles will allow towards your right heel, externally rotating your left thigh. So you get that flex in your left toes and the stretch through the ball of the right foot. Shift forward once again as you inhale. Stand your left foot down where it is. Tuck your back toes and then lift up and back to that wide kind of straddled downward facing dog on your exhalation. Take an extra breath. Release any tension from your neck. Bend your left knee as you inhale. Lengthen the leg on your exhale. And bend your right knee, breathe in. And lengthen on your breath out. From there, it's a three-legged downward dog, left leg sweeping up behind you in space. Step forward to your left hand. Place your back knee down on your next breath in, arms up alongside your ears. This time here, if you're steady, go ahead, catch the right wrist, side bend towards your left. Hug the legs towards one another. You can stay as you are or spin your eyes underneath your right elbow towards the right any amount. And back up through center on your next breath in. Return your hands down, lift your hips to fold on your breath out. You take one little wave of your spine as you inhale, bowing further over your shin as you exhale. Step forward from there, little flat back, breathe in, long spine, bow down, up and over your legs on your breath out. Rolling all the way up to stand fairly swiftly, arms up alongside your ears on your next breath in. Float your left knee up here using the strength of your left hip flexor. Figure for your left ankle to your right knee and then bend your standing leg. Send your seat back like a chair pose. Arms will continue to frame the sides of your head. One more breath. You're rising up, cross the left shin in front of the right. Catch your right wrist, grow tall, side bend towards your left. And as you side bend towards your left, try not to let your pelvis spin towards the right. So wrap your right hip forward slightly, wrap your left hip back. Returning up through center on your next breath in, fold forward up and over your legs on your exhalation. Grounding your hands, step your right foot back on your inhale. Again, if you're pregnant, right back to downward facing dog. Otherwise, left foot beside your right through plank, lower knees, chest and chin. Cobra, if you're from there on your belly, inhale. Waving your spine back down towards the ground, narrowing your palms, press yourself up through hands and knees, and that's where we'll shift to if you are in downward dog. Child's pose, hips towards your heels. Arms back as you inhale to roll yourself up. Crawl your fingers further behind you in space, looping your shoulders, lifting your chest. And then exhale to come forward from here, hands ground. Let's flow through that on your breath. Right leg back in line with your hip as you breathe in. Right knee to your right upper arm. Just that once. Okay, so right away, send your right knee wider out beside you. Lengthen your right knee and set the foot down. Little cow of your spine as you inhale. Round as you exhale through cat, hips back towards the left heel and externally rotate the right thigh. Come forward on your breath in, stand the right foot down once again. Exhale, lift your hips, straddle in your downward dog. Bend your right knee, breathe in. Lengthen the leg on your breath out. Bend your left knee, inhale. Straighten on your exhale. Right leg up and back, three-legged downward dog. Step forward just inside of the right hand. Back knee to the mat, arms up on your next inhale. Stay or catch your left wrist, side bend towards your right on your exhale. Through center as you breathe in, you'll release the wrist. Lower your hands, lift your hips to fold on your breath out. You step forward right away as you inhale. As you exhale to fold, bend your knees, round your spine up. Arms up on your next breath in. Float your right knee to your chest. Figure four as you inhale, send your seat back in space. And as you exhale, rise, crossing right shin in front of left. Catch your left wrist, stretch up. Side bend to your right. Up through center on your inhale. Fold up and over your legs with your exhalation. Left foot steps back as you breathe in either to downward facing dog or through plank, knees, chest, and chin. Cobra, maybe slightly higher this time. Right away through your hands and knees, wherever you are coming from, into child's pose. Take your arms behind you in space, right away looping your shoulders, lifting your chest. Shift forward from here as you exhale through to tabletop once more. Left leg back in line with your left hip as you inhale. Left knee to your left upper arm. Keep it there, stretch it further out beside you in space, and then lengthen your leg any amount and set the left foot down. Come forward slightly on your inhale, little cow. Round through cat, sit towards the right heel and externally rotate your left thigh. Left toes flexed up. Come forward, stamp your left foot down once again. Lift the hips up to that straddle downward facing dog. Bend your left knee as you breathe in. Straighten the leg on your breath out. Right knee bends on your inhale. Lengthen as you exhale. Good. From there, three-legged dog, left leg goes up behind you in space. Stepping forward towards your left thumb tip. Place your back knee down, brush your arms up as you inhale. Catching your right wrist, side bend up and over towards your left. Return through center, breathe in. Lower your hands, lift your hips to fold on your breath out. Step forward as you inhale right away, little flat back. And as you fold on your exhale, bend your knees, round your spine up to stand. Two arms lift as you inhale. Float your left knee to your chest from there. Figure four the left ankle to your right knee and bend your standing leg, send your seat back in space. As you rise up, cross left shin in front, catch your right wrist, stretch tall. Side bend to your left on your exhale. Passing back up through center, breathe in. Fold forward on your breath out. Ground your hands, step your right foot back in space. Either through knees, chest, and chin, or straight to downward facing dog. Okay, through your back bend here on your inhale, and then again, wherever you're coming from, through down to your knees into child's pose. Exhale. Arms behind you in space, right away, looping your shoulders, lifting your chest. Come forward as you exhale, this time grounding your palms directly into downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Open your mouth to release. One more time, breathe in. Big breath out. Take a little lift in your right leg. And from there, slide your right knee towards your right wrist for a pigeon. If you want to use a block underneath your right hip, slide one in, or a block under your forehead, under your forearms, whatever you need. And you'll take 5 breaths. Make this your own. So if you would rather take a figure 4 seated or laying on your back instead, those are great options. When you're ready, draw yourself upright, somewhat anyways. If you had blocks under your elbows, your forehead, or your seat, clear them off to the side. Tuck your back toes and place your forearms down as though you were going to come into a Sphinx pose. So palms grounded, elbows parallel to one another. From there, lift your back knee with your lower belly strong. Send your right foot back beside the left and tiptoe your toes towards your elbows, so you're going to come into a little forearm variation of downward facing dog, a little prep for pincha. And we're just going to stay here for the inversion today. Your heels can be lifted, your knees can be bent, no problem. And just one more breath. From there, come on down to your knees. Slide back up onto your hands. Tuck your toes when you're ready. Right up into downward dog. Lay your left leg up on your inhale. Slide the left knee to your left wrist for pigeon on your second side. Again, slip in any little props that feel helpful for you here today. Even if it's somewhat different than your first side, that's totally fine. You find a depth that is breathable, and you'll spend about 5 breath cycles here. You slowly come up, partially anyways. Clear any props that were there and place your forearms down parallel to one another once again. Back toes can curl underneath. You'll lift your back knee and then from there slide your left toes beside the right and tiptoe your feet in towards your elbows. Keep lifting your seat. Your knees can be as bent as you find helpful. Press forward and down through your forearms. Lift your hips. Take 2 more breaths. And from there, come on down to your knees once again. Let them open as wide as you'd like. Sit into a child's pose. Arms can brush back alongside your shins. Block could come under the forehead if that feels helpful. When you're ready, roll yourself upright. From here, you can return onto your back. As you come onto your back, start with your knees bent. Have your feet about as wide as your mat. Arms can be cactused or down by your side. You choose your preference here and just let your knees rock from side to side a few times. Little windshield wiper legs. Next time your knees tip towards the right, you can leave them there. You feel free to spin your head in either direction really, or shift the placement of your arms if that feels good. You could also, if you want, add the figure 4 of your right ankle to your left knee. Okay, so whatever little options you're choosing for yourself, just take a final couple breaths. Your knees can pass back through center. You'll release that figure 4 if you had chosen to hook the right ankle. And your feet again about as wide as your mat, and then just drop your knees to your left. Okay, so mirroring any little variations you took right to the minute details, like if you were lacing your hands, switching which thumb is in front, or just, spinning your gaze towards the opposite direction, or hooking the ankle, whatever feels good here on this side. You'll use your next exhale when it comes just to release everything back up through center. Have your feet once more mats width apart, knees can tent in towards each other. So you have a supported, constructive rest. Land your arms somewhere below the height of your heart, by your side or on your body. And if you're more comfortable laying on your side or coming up to sit here for the final minute of practice, then please feel free to adjust. Your awareness will shift once more just to the tip of your nose so that you can observe the simple breath in and out through the nostrils. And this time you might imagine the breath threading all the way up to the middle of your brain, and back down and out on your exhale. like to rest longer here today, I encourage you to stay. Otherwise, you could place a hand to the belly, a hand to the heart, or join your palms in a soft prayer at the center of your chest. Take a final clearing breath here to seal your practice in through the nose, out through your mouth. Namaste.